Good morning and welcome to Mark Palmer's YouTube channel. Now today we are at Mitchell's. Mitchell's is part of the place where I work to, which is East Pool Mine. Now this engine here is a whim. And those of my friends would understand all about this, but this is for my friends that live overseas and don't really know much about mining. Whim means winding engine, and whim is a Cornish word. Now this engine here is a double acting condensing engine. What that means, right, you see the brick there? Well, inside of that is a cylinder, and it's high pressure steam that is produced by a Cornish style boiler, which I'll just show you quickly. This type of boiler just here, look. Now this is a Cornish patent boiler, and the reason we say that is because you see where the fire is there, that's one tube that goes right through, and that was first introduced by Richard Trevithick, who is the pioneer of high pressure steam. Right, so the steam was generated there, and then the steam was piped from there to here. Now this here is the regulator or throttle, and what you would do to make the engine work if we had steam, unfortunately we don't, is you'd turn it about like that, and then the engine would then slowly start to work. And of course, if you needed to increase the movement of the engine, you would just give it a bit more, like, you know, and that's probably a bit too much there then, right, you know. So steam is admitted, let's get back over here, look. Steam is admitted at the bottom of the cylinder and at the top of the cylinder, which makes it ideal for winding purposes because it's very, very powerful. So once this is moving up and down, it then rocks the piston rod there, which is connected to these grey bars, which are called the parallel motion, which is then connected to the bob. The bob is outside, as you can see, it comes up there, and there's a rod there, and this is the condenser just outside of here, and a steam pump. It then, the motion of it rocking up and down turns this wheel. Now either side of this wheel there's two drums. Originally, those two drums, there was wire roped, one wrapped one way and one wrapped the other. So this engine winding, those wires would have went up and around, and those wires were then connected to the shaft. Now the shaft would have been just out in the car park, just in front of that van there, and it went down 1,400 feet, I believe. It might be a bit more than that actually. So when this engine was moving, the two cables, one would be going up, one would be going down. On them there would be a gig, and once all the men are in the shaft, they put on a thing called a kibble, which is a big bucket. So we'll just go upstairs and have a quick look. We're not open to the public right now because it's only just 11 o'clock. So this engine house is opened at midday, and you'll be able to see this engine working. It works on electric motor, which is working the engine in reverse, but you still get the sound of the steam. Now this is the top of the cylinder here, and as you can see, just over there you've got the inlet and the outlet, and of course you've got a nice lovely oiler there. So we'll make our way up a bit more. There we are, looking at part of the parallel motion there. Now this is the designer of this engine, Sir Francis Mitchell, engineer from where I'm from, which is Redriff. Now this engine, believe it or not, was one of the last engines ever produced by Holmans of Camborne. And we do have the name here of the foundry that, there you go, look, Holmans, Bros, Camborne, 1887, that's when this engine was made. Small little windlass here, for maintenance. It's very small compared to the one over in Taylor's, but they didn't really need a big one because you're only dealing with about 8 tons of that bob, which is enough, but it's not the biggest amount of weight. Now over here, these head frames, the engine house in the back, in the foreground with the Cornish St Piran on, that is Robinson's shaft, part of South Crofty Man, where the men used to go up and down. And of course the big head frame you can see in the distance, that is where the ore used to go up for South Crofty. And there's been lots of talk about South Crofty being opened again, but it's very, very slow work, but I hope it does. Now in the foreground here there's some buildings. This is my favourite shop in Cornwall. This is McSalvers, where you can get virtually anything DIY wise. They do marine products, they do any construction materials, whatever you want. So big plug for McSalvers. If you're into mechanical means like I am, McSalvers is the place for you. So there we are, folks. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you have, then share it, and of course press the like button, and I will appreciate that. And if you want to put any comments on or have any questions about engine houses and mining and any other locations around the county, because I do get around a bit like, feel free. Anyway, have a nice day, folks. Cheers and gone.